Daughter lied and made my husband out to be a creep and it's destroying my marriage. Am I the a-hole for telling my 19 female daughter she will have to move out of my house if I get divorced because of her lies after her stepdad saw her naked? I need to know if I'm wrong because I'm getting calls and texts from family calling me an a-hole for not being on my daughter's side. So my husband and I have been married for a little over 5 years now. I will say my daughter, 19 female, and he have an okay relationship. Not exactly like a father and daughter, but almost advised, asked and given relationship, basically. I have never picked up on anything weird from my husband towards my daughter and my daughter has never said or insinuated anything at all as well. Now on Thursday, my husband and I were watching a movie in the living room. We paused the movie as he got up to use the bathroom. I heard him knocking on the door twice. Literally, 3 knocks each time on the door a couple of seconds apart. It was loud enough for me to hear him knocking from the living room. The next moment, I heard screaming. I rushed to the bathroom and I saw my daughter completely naked covering herself and yelling at my husband to get out. I didn't see everything that happened, but what I saw after I heard yelling was that my husband literally fell over his own feet struggling to get out of the bathroom and close the door. I asked my husband what happened and he said he knocked, but nobody answered, so he went in. My daughter was naked in front of the mirror, and he tried to get out. After my daughter calmed down, I asked her side of what happened, and she said she was changing. And all of a sudden, my husband walked into the bathroom. I asked her why she didn't answer him when he knocked, and she said he didn't. I told her I heard him knock, so I am sure that he did. She said she didn't hear it because she had her earpods in listening to music. Anyway, we got the situation sorted, and my husband apologized to her. He explained that he thought the bathroom was empty and walked in. She even gave him a hug and apologized for yelling at him. The problem now is my daughter got family members involved, and they are now calling my husband a creep. I got a call from my sister berating me for still having my husband in the house. I asked what she meant, and it came out that my daughter had spun a whole other story and left out the fact that she was listening to music with her earpods and was telling everyone that she answered him and he still walked into the bathroom to look at her. We have cameras in our hallway and it proves that my husband did knock as you can see in the video, but the cameras have no audio. I sat my daughter down and asked her about it. She denied saying anything like that or that she told anyone anything. I got mad and asked, "Then how does your aunt know what happened?" She went silent. Then she said she talked to her cousin about it, and she must have told her mother. I asked her why did she lie about what happened and make my husband look bad when he did nothing wrong. She again denied lying about anything and I told her what my sister told me. She just started to cry and say sorry. She was just talking and making up scenarios with her cousin. The whole day yesterday, I got calls and texts from my family members as the story spread. The wrong story is spreading and my husband looks like a creep to everyone. I sat my daughter down again and had her read some of the things being said about my husband and told her she has to fix this because her lying is what caused it. She refused, saying she didn't spread this and she only told her cousin and doesn't want to say anything to anyone because they will think bad about her. She said, "They know my husband and this will just blow over." But everything blew up when my husband walked into the living room with his bags packed and said he was going to stay with his parents for a while because he didn't want to be in this situation anymore where he's made out to be this kind of person. My daughter broke down and apologized repeatedly and said she will fix it, but my husband still left. I told her, if I get divorced because of her lies, she will be moving out of my house. I told her, she better fix what she did and tell everyone what really happened because I will not be losing a man that loves and actually cares for me like my husband does over her lies. She asked me to help her, and I told her no. She isn't a child anymore, and her lies for attention did this. This is on her. I already tried to clear things up and I'm now also being accused of taking my husband's side and not providing a safe space for my daughter. I don't know what to do. My husband asked for space and my daughter is inconsolable at the moment. I'm not at the best state myself. Am I the a-hole? Wow. OP, no. You're not the a-hole. Your daughter is an idiot and she could potentially ruin your husband's life. I think he did the right thing by leaving and I don't think you'd be the a-hole if you kick your daughter out. She not only lied about this whole thing for attention, but when she was told to make it right, she said no because it might make her look bad. Now, when your husband left, she said she was going to fix it, but she hasn't done so and is inconsolable. Now, OP, if I was in your shoes, I wouldn't help her with this, but I would definitely be on top of her supervising what she says and does and make her do it as soon as possible. And what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments section and now let's check out the community comments. Yoshi and Dame says, I would never move back to a home where someone has spread false sexual misconduct stories about me for no reason and still lives there. I'd never be okay being alone with that person. Even if they said it straight, even if they were sorry, even if I fully forgave them, those kind of rumors can and will ruin a person's entire life. There is no guarantee in any way. The rumors won't continue, spread further, get twisted, or the person won't lie again. starting it all over. What's to stop her from setting it straight, but in an effort to save face lean on, I don't want to have to move so I have to take it back. No, I don't know why I'd lie. Yeah, that doesn't make sense. Just trust me. I did lie, though. People will talk. The horse is out of the barn. What's done is done. No matter what happens now, people will always question it, suspect him, and suspect you are protecting him. However it plays out, your daughter needs to talk to a professional. Being sorry, learning the hard way isn't enough. She needs professional help to figure out why she chose to lie, why she'd tell her cousin this, why she repeatedly doubled down when she got caught, etc. Perpetually Exhausted says, not the a-hole, but you should be aware that even if she does come clean, your husband has every right to not want to live in the same house as her again. You may still have a very hard decision to make. She lied and had him labeled as a predator and saw nothing wrong with allowing that to continue so long as she didn't look bad for lying. And Sven and Fair 79 says, extremely distressing for your husband. I would take the daughter, drive to this cousin, sit down with the cousin and the mother, and make your daughter tell her the real story. After that, I would tell the mother of the cousin to call every single person she or they told and tell her she was wrong. If your daughter refuses, kick her out. For every person who said anything about your husband, cut them out of your life unless they apologize to your husband in person. Additional information from Ops comments. So we have cameras because my husband works away sometimes. So if I hear something at night, especially if my husband isn't home, I can just check them. So we have 3 cameras inside the house watching the front and back door and 1 pointing down the hallway where the bathroom is. Now I am on his side completely and fully. I don't want to lose him. My family is just making it difficult because we are very close and every time I try to explain what really happened, I am just called in a hole and that I'm making excuses. They all say that I'm protecting a creep, but I don't see what happened as a big issue. But my daughter made it big by lying and making my husband out as a creep to others. And for those excusing my daughter, she literally lied and made my husband out to be a creep. No mistake there. Have I made mistakes? Yes. But nothing that can completely ruin another person's life. And still, she refuses to say anything or clarify or admit to anyone that she lied because of how it will look for her. She told her cousin, my husband intentionally walked in on her. What other way is there to take that information? She lied and caused this. So the community agrees that OP is not the a-hole and that this whole thing needs to be clarified by the daughter. So now let's move on to the first update to see what happened next. My husband has asked for a divorce. But before I explain how we got to that, let me clear up a couple of things. We have locks on every door in the house. I don't know why my daughter didn't use the lock on the bathroom door. We also have a bathroom in our room, but we can't use it at the moment. The water is completely shut off due to renovations. So my husband has asked for a divorce. On Friday, he came back home and asked to talk. During our talk, he showed me his phone. And some of the things my family members were saying about him were just outright horrible. Calling him a pedo, asking him how many times he has taken a peek before. I don't recognize any of my family anymore. The hatred they are showing over this tells me they refuse to listen or they have hated him from the start and are now using this to try and get rid of him. He said he can't ever come back, and this has now started to affect his work life as well. He was called into HR to explain because some of my family members have called his office. Luckily, they haven't done anything and refused to do anything until a case is brought up against him. They know my husband very well, and I think they believe him as well because he is still working. He also explained that he loves me and is happy I stood up for him, but my daughter's actions have caused too many problems and made him scared. He explained he sits at the office and at his parents' home every day just waiting for the police to show up and arrest him. He said her lies broke him, and he can't see a way to come back from it. I asked him to reconsider and that maybe we can go for counseling, but he also refused, saying everything is too broken to fix. I told him that I will kick my daughter out and told him about everything I did and told my daughter to do. But he said, I'm missing the point. His life could have been completely ruined because of a lie. My family will never trust him again and will always harbor hatred or suspicions about him, especially now that my daughter wants to clear things so long afterwards. They will think we forced her to do it and that will just make things worse. He said he will always remain the creep in their eyes. I asked him, what if I cut off my family and we moved away because I was already working on that? I showed him my phone and the messages I have sent every single person so far that refused to listen and that I blocked them. He asked, what about my daughter? I told him again, I will be kicking her out and she will be staying with my parents from now on. He asked, what if we moved away? Will I abandon my daughter then? Because he doesn't want to be near her or be alone with her at all. I didn't know what to say about that. Before I could answer, he said, again, it was better for us to just get divorced. He said, I will never ask you to abandon your daughter. I will never expect you to do something like that, but I don't want her anywhere near me. If you abandon your daughter, I don't know if I could ever look at you the same way afterwards, even if it was made for my sake. The only solution here is for us to get divorced." That's when my daughter came running down the hallway into the living room. She was crying. I think she was listening to our conversation. Before she could get a word out, my husband jumped up from the couch and put his hand out and asked her not to get near him. He said, "Before you say anything, I will start to record the conversation now," and took out his phone. I think I saw something break in my daughter's eyes at that moment at the realization of everything hit her all at once. She asked my husband to forgive her, that she never meant for things to get so out of hand. She was just picking up scenarios with her cousin, and her cousin was the one that ran with it. So my husband asked her, why didn't she clear it up immediately then? She said she didn't think it will go this far and thought it will just blow over because everyone knows him. He showed her his phone and asked her to read some of the messages, and my daughter went completely silent. We talked for about 4 hours. At the end, my husband said he will give us 3 months to move out of the house because it is his house. My daughter can keep the car because it was a gift, and that he will finish paying this year's tuition, but will not pay anything going forward. He said he hasn't gotten a lawyer yet but told me to get one. He would like to do this without lawyers, but if I want to, I can get one. He said he will be fair in the divorce and doesn't harbor anything against me, but he can't stay in the relationship. My daughter was just sitting on the floor looking like a ghost, and I just couldn't say anything after listening to him talk about divorce and what will be split and whatnot. Like, it was nothing. He was talking like the last 5 years was nothing and it was just easy to move on. The best way to describe it was like, he was returning something to a store. He then left the house and I just sat on the couch. I don't know if I was crying, talking, or what. I can't remember much as everything was muffled around me. Then my daughter started full-on crying, saying, "Sorry, sorry, sorry," over and over again, lying on the floor. I don't know how long I sat on the couch, but when I got up, I saw my husband's car still in the driveway. I looked out the window and I could see him full-on crying in the car. Seeing that completely broke me, and my daughter and I haven't talked since my husband was here Friday. Not a word to each other. My family members have showed up to the house to apologize because apparently, my daughter has all of a sudden now cleared everything up, and she herself shared the video from the camera with the family members. Every time they show up, I just close the door in their faces. I've gotten Facebook, Instagram, calls, and texts from them, and when I block them, they keep making new accounts or use different numbers. I don't want to lose my husband. I really don't. This is the first time I have ever met that has actually treated me with kindness, respect, and love, and now it's all over. I have tried to talk to him and tried to convince him to go to counseling with me, but every time I have tried, he sends back, I can't take the risk. I have tried to meet him in person, but he just says it won't be a good idea. I have gone over to his parents' house, but they refuse to let me see him. I have gone to his work to talk to him, but I was told he was sent home by his boss. I truly don't know how to fix this. Having my daughter move out now won't work because I need to be out of the house as well. I don't want anything from my husband. I just want him. I really want to fix this. I am going to lose a wonderful man. Alright. Let's not waste any time and move on to the final update to see how the story ends. Hello, everyone. It's been a while and I see a bunch of people asking for updates. I wasn't in the mood and I've been crying myself to sleep every night. I don't know what to do anymore. I lost my husband, family, and my daughter. Thank you to everyone, but it's official. I'm getting divorced. I was served with the divorce papers and my husband wants nothing to do with us anymore. I have moved out of the house, and I am currently staying with a friend until I can get my life back in order. I have completely cut contact with my family, but they still try to get in contact with me from different numbers or from different profiles on Facebook and Instagram. I don't know how long I can continue to stay with my friend because her life is now being impacted as well, with my family members just showing up at her apartment. I would like to get a different place to stay, but my salary won't be able to cover everything I need. My husband, or soon-to-be ex-husband, covered all our bills previously, but now I have to do everything myself. My daughter just packed her things a little over a week ago and moved away. I don't know where she is at the moment, and her friends are refusing to tell me anything. She tried to talk to my soon-to-be ex and he got a restraining order against her. She violated the order and he got her arrested. I don't know what went on in her head. I tried to talk to her, but she said that she will fix everything. But like I said, my ex got a restraining order against her and then had her arrested when she kept going to him. My daughter will have to drop out of college because my ex is now refusing to continue covering anything else for her and retracted his offer to continue paying. He sent me a message saying he's done. I didn't respect his wishes, so I had to get out of his house immediately. My daughter also went against his wishes, so he is retracting everything from her as well. She is on her own. He said if I or my daughter continue to harass him, he will open up a case against my daughter for defamation. I don't have enough money for myself at the moment with my job and all the bills, so I definitely can't assist her. She packed up in the middle of the night and just left after I told her she will have to drop out and get a job. My soon-to-be ex-husband became completely emotionless and cold the last couple of weeks and refused to talk to me about anything other than anything regarding the divorce. He said he would have been supportive and assisted for a while until I could get on my feet, but it was clear to him that we only wanted to use him and his generosity. So he is done. He wanted to void the prenup we have, but will now follow the prenup to the letter, meaning I will basically get nothing in the divorce. But I don't want anything. I just want him back. Even with everything that happened, I still want my husband, the kind, caring, sweet man I had. I want him back. I need him to come back. I told him my daughter moved out of the house and asked again if we could try and fix our marriage, and he didn't even respond. The last message I got from him was him asking if I signed the divorce papers yet or if I got a lawyer yet to look over the divorce papers, because he wants to be done with this and to move on because it's clear to him now that no one in my family, me included, respected him at all. In that message, he also said I should get my family to back off because they are still harassing him with messages, calls, and emails, and he is sick of it. If they don't stop, he will report them as well. Well, obese, sometimes you just can't come back from things, and I think this is one of those situations. I would suggest just sign the divorce papers and let your husband move on and you try to do the same yourself. And here's hoping that you're able to do that. Take care, OP, and thanks for sharing. And now let's finish this video with a really quick mood booster post. This post is from the subreddit Malicious Compliance and it's by user Swiggy1957. I apologize to my mom. My folks divorced when I was 8. Dad passed away when I was 13. By the time I was 18, Mom had been dating for a while. One day, Mom, her boyfriend and I were sitting around the table cracking jokes and such. Mom said one that was really of color. I was used to her sense of humor. I added too. I looked over at Mom and said, "Mom, you're a dirty old lady." She chuckled at that but her boyfriend got pissed. That's no way to talk to your mother. You apologize to her right now. Cue Malicious Compliance. I turned to my mom and said in a very sincere voice, "Mom, I'm so sorry. You're a dirty old lady." Before her boyfriend could say anything, she chimed in with, "I'm not sorry." Well, Opie, it sounds like you and your mom have the same sense of humor and have a lot of fun together.